Put yourself in your customer's shoes, any customer's shoes, and ask yourself, would you actually give your loyalty to a brand just because of their rewards program? I'm betting no, because that's not how it works for me, right? My second or third purchase from a company, from a business, isn't because of their loyalty program. It rarely ever is, right? So if you're optimizing for points and redemptions and discounts and that type of thing, if that's the type of relationship you have with your customer, you're going to be disappointed, because what really matters is whether you've earned a place in their life. We are Dropkick Copy, Olympic level marketers, World Federation champions. Our oversight translates well to all levels of the funnel, but it's the bottom of the funnel where retention exists that interests us the most. There's a link in the description box. You can watch my partner interview some of our past clients, but first watch the rest of this video. I want to propose to you that, when you go out here trying to think about how to solve your retention problems or your concerns, you end up reaching for a loyalty program kind of strategy. All right. The thing is, the name rigs the game, because the word loyalty program, it has baggage. You assume a lot of things about how a loyalty program should work, and then you build the same thing. And I think that's a problem, because what will happen is you'll measure the wrong thing and you'll optimize for the wrong thing. There's a parallel to this in economics. It's called Goodhart's law. When you measure something, you make it a target. You optimize for it because you want to manage it. And when everybody's optimizing for it, the thing stops being a good measure. The signal is lost. It stops meaning anything. So there's an example. There was a bounty put on returning cobras. I think it's a village in India. People, they return cobras for money. But then some people decided, let's just raise cobras and take the money. So was the program effective? You understand, these types of things can happen. People optimize for the targets. You put the target as the focus. It's not the smart way to go about this. You're looking for actual loyalty. Actual loyalty is not transactional. And the thing is, what do all these points mean? It means you owe people something at some point. So that's a liability on your balance sheet, isn't it? Starbucks apparently has $1.8 billion worth of rewards it needs to give people. It's just there. But they're huge, and they can afford to keep that floating. For you though, it could cause a problem if there's redemption spikes or market conditions change, because those rewards that you have to give people, they're eating into your margin too, right? So you owe a bunch of people at a lower price point than you would normally sell it. If there's if there's some sort of economic condition that causes everybody to do a run on the bank more or less and redeem all their rewards, you might get crushed. So you have to be very careful about these liabilities that you accumulate because of this loyalty program. Now you might say, okay, that's the worst case scenario you just painted. Why do I need to bother about that? Well, I'll tell you, on average, what's happening on average? Most people are signed up to a lot of loyalty programs that they're just parked in, and they do nothing for them. They're not interacting with people. It doesn't change how they feel about the brand, nothing. They're mostly indifferent. So has your program actually, with all the optimizations you've done, has your program actually succeeded in loyalty? I'd say you've optimized for the wrong thing. You've probably optimized for signups. Most people, they won't even remove themselves from the list. It takes too much effort. Path of least resistance. So what you essentially have is just a database of names of people who are so inactive and disengaged, right? And you'll be like, whatever, I have them on a list. This gives me an excuse to email them once in a while and stay top of mind, this top of mind idea. But that's negligent, and it's messy, and it's a misuse of the opportunity you've been given to interact with the customer directly. They've given you permission. It's an opportunity. Build on it. Don't waste it. I asked a friend of mine, are you involved in any reward programs? He's like, yeah, there's 3 that I'm in a higher tier in. I asked him, are the rewards worthwhile? Are they good rewards? He's like, yeah, they are good rewards. Have you redeemed any of them? He said, no. I said, why? Just not interested right now. He said, I'm just not interested right now. I'd have to spend a bunch of money just to get that actual reward. Or I have no use for it right now. So he's mostly indifferent. He feels nothing towards these loyalty rewards programs he's in, where he's at a higher tier. And this is the vast majority of people, by the way. This is not unique to him. That's why I'm suggesting that you got to get out of this idea of just thinking about a loyalty program. It has to mean much more than that for people like my friend to actually care. The thing is, it's not, you don't want to delude yourselves. There's a parallel to this in music. There's a payola practice. Payola, P-A-Y-O-L-A. It's this practice of people paying to get played through promoters, paying to get a slot on a stage, paying to create an impression, basically. Because the more so-called positive impression they can create, they can take those numbers and then pitch for more payment when they have to fill a slot, etc., etc. Right? They're building this perception of buzz. But then when the person actually tries to run their own show, be the headline in their own show, nobody shows up. When they drop an album, nobody buys. There's so many examples of this. So they did not create their numbers, the metrics, the so-called metrics of this loyalty and fandom. They were lying. There was lies. It's false. There's no such thing as a fandom for this person. You understand what I mean? You don't want to be a company that does that to yourself. So you have to think about loyalty building the right way. There's examples of businesses who successfully avoided this trap, so Amazon, to capture loyalty, what they did is they basically leaned into convenience rather than the points and the redemptions and stuff, right? Everything that causes you to stay buying from Amazon has to do with the convenience and the integration of it into your lives and the way it's optimized for the buying process and the delivery process, right? So it's essentially a convenience program rather than just a loyalty program. So you need to see if you can design a loyalty program that isn't a loyalty program, right? Call it something else, a pass, a membership, a club, whatever it is, right? Your objective is to get to this point where leaving you should feel like a personal loss or a hassle, right? Some sort of lifestyle impediment happens when they leave you, or they hurt themselves when they leave you, or they lose something essential to their core, their identity when they leave you. That's kind of what you're trying to get at. When you do design the program, check in with yourself. Are we bribing people to stay? If we turned off the points and the rewards, would they stay? What would be the reason they stay? Is there anything to stay for? And the people who do stay, what do they get that the other people would be afraid of missing out on? These are the questions you need to ask, because that's going to show you if they're going to just stack rewards, or if you've successfully created some sort of relationship architecture or housing for the loyalty to stay in, to be housed in. Cool. So this video was just to stress the language importance, the importance of the language, the scripts that you're running internally within your teams and outside to the rest of the world about retention and your relationship to customers. It matters, because if you're trying to build the wrong thing and telling people it's something that it isn't, or it shouldn't be a loyalty program just to like get a discount, then you're going to optimize for the wrong things, as opposed to calling it like a club or a membership or a network or something like that. Then you optimize for actual loyalty, which is perhaps abstract and intangible, and business owners don't like to think in those terms. They like measurable, hard things, but this is what it is. Loyalty is irrational. So you're dealing in an already murky, weird, messy area, fickle area. But there's things you can do to secure it, as it's been proven by many other businesses, right? So that's what this video is about. I hope that made sense. Take it easy.